Hi and welcome to this class. Today we're going to focus on some acupressure points through a relaxed yin yoga practice, a little bit of a twist. So we're going to come through into different positions and press those acupressure points. So we're going to be looking at Spleen 6, which will look at pelvic pain. We'll move on to liver 3, which is good for getting that chi flow. We'll look at kidney 1, and that's going to help with anxiety and your hormone balance. And then we're going to look at the heart, and that's going to really just help you just to balance out your parasympathetic nervous system. So you might want a couple of blocks. I'm sat on one at the moment and I've got another one here, and a little comfortable blanket for your head and your ankles like I've got now. We are going to be doing legs up the wall pose, so ideally you want access to a wall. If you don't have that, don't worry, I can give you a variation, but you will need a block for that if you don't have your wall. So gather your props, get yourself ready, and we'll come into the space. And we're going to just start with a little breathing exercise just to get us grounded and get us set up for this pain management session with me today. So coming into cross-legged position, as I say, I'm sat on a block to get my knees lower than my hips. And then I just want you to just lift up out of your chest, lift up that spine, drawing the shoulders back, palms on your knees, and then just slightly tilt the chin towards the chest. If it feels good, close the eyes down. So like I said, we're just going to come into these postures and go through some of these self-acupressure points and techniques rooted in Chinese medicine. So I just want you to start to connect with the ground beneath you, connect with your body. So just allowing the breath to be steady and even. There's no need to control the breath right now. Notice how your body feels today. If you are currently in that pain phase of your menstrual cycle, I want you to be really conscious of what you're doing with your womb area, your midline, and just really try and let it release. So try not to tense any muscles in the abdominal area or the groin. Just try and let it relax. I know it's easier said than done. So now I want you to start to control the breath now. So breathing in and breathing out through the nose. So you breathe in for 3, 2, 1, and out for 3, 2, 1. So let's just take that breath into a controlled breath, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Just continue to do that breath a few more times. And just take your attention to all of the points of your body that are connected with the earth. Sides of your feet, your little toes, ankles, shins, your bottom, now let's add in a little pause in between our in-breath and our exhale. So we breathe in and pause and breathe out and pause. Breathe in, sip up the breath and breathe out. Let it release. So continue that breathing and notice where you're moving. You might feel like you're doing a very slight cat-cow. Breathing in, drawing the shoulders up, opening up the chest. Breathing out, allowing it to release and come back down, maybe slightly rounding the lower back. Breathing in, hold, breathing out, hold. Few more like this. Just connecting with your breath, just bringing that very slight movement. Well done. So our first pose is going to be butterfly pose, but we're going to be sat up because we want to be have access to our ankles. So what I want you to do, you might want to move the blanket a little bit of the way out from you. So you might want to make that blanket a little bit wider. And then bring the soles of your feet together and let your hips hang out. So like I said, I'm sat on a block at the minute and it's a little bit awkward, it's a little bit high. So just shuffle yourself forward on your block until you can start to feel the block to tilt. And then you should feel a really nice opening in the inner thigh area here. And that will just give you that nice balance with your knees and your hips. If this is too much, then just come off the block. So play around with what works for you. You're going to be here about 3 minutes or so. And then you might need to just scooch your leggings up a little bit. And you're looking for the inside of your ankle bones. And what you want to do is take your fingers and just measure up about 5 fingers up. And then start to press on the inside of your leg. So this is spleen 6. And this is really good for pelvic pain. So you might want to do one at a time just to see what you're actually feeling. So you could use your right thumb for your right leg. And that's quite painful for me. Don't need to be pressing too hard. Just back off. It's just a very gentle pressure. And you're sort of moving the thumb around in a circle. And just start to let the inner thighs relax. Might start to feel a little bit uncomfortable, a little bit like your hips are screaming. That's okay. Just go with it. Let everything relax. And then do the other side. So you'll know when you've hit it because you can really feel it. So for me, the right side is more sensitive than the left. And then when you've done both sides equally, let's just get that finger again and just find the point. Your leg might be a little bit red where you've been pressing. Find the point, press in, and then drop your head down again. If you've got period pain whilst you're doing this practice, let that belly relax. Just let it hang. It doesn't need to be drawn in. You want to be releasing any tension in the inner thighs, in the hips. Let the gravity do the work in the knees. Maybe Just do some little circles with your fingers, one way and then the other. You're doing really well. Couple of more breaths. And release. Just slowly, slowly, slowly bring your knees up. And then just release one leg. Release the other leg. Oh, that did. And then just give your legs a little bit of a massage. Your belly a massage. Just be gentle. And then we're going to be looking at liver 3. And then we're going to go on to kidney 1. So liver 3 is on the top of your foot between your big toe and your next toe. So again, you can have a little play whilst we're upright, because we're going to come down into a reclined butterfly pose, but with a bit of a twist. So just have a little play around with both feet. See if you can feel anything. And then we'll come down into our reclined butterfly. So you might want your blocks for this one. And if you roll up your blanket for your neck, that can be a nice release. So obviously I've got Bonnie and Heidi here on the yoga mat. So I'm just going to move myself up. So bring the soles of your feet together and then just slowly bring yourself down. Find your blanket, prop it behind your neck, and then bring your blocks into your, sort of in between your glutes and your thighs. And then just get yourself ready. Just relax. Just take it easy for now. We're not going to do anything at the minute. We're just going to get ourselves comfortable. And then just start to release and let go. So hips are outwards. Take your palms away from you, facing up towards the ceiling. And just start to connect like we did when we were sat up. Start to connect with the breath and all the points of your body that's connected to the earth. Maybe start from your feet and work all the way up to the back of your head. Connect with your breath, breathing in and breathing out. So let's just do about 5 breaths here just to get us settled. I'll let you do those breaths in your time. Drawing the breath up through the front body and allowing the back body to just release. All right, so we're going to we'll do the left foot first. So keeping your right leg where it is, just draw your left knee in towards your chest and hold it with your left hand. And then with your right hand and your right thumb, you're just gonna bring the thumb up towards the top of the foot and your fingers underneath your foot. So you may need to take your hip out to the left slightly. Keep a hold of your leg with your left hand, and then you're just going to start to bring some movement into the top of your foot, as I've explained, in between big toe and the next toe. So this energy is now going to be going around your body from this point of the acupressure point up through your leg, allowing that energy to circulate around your hips because you've got your hips open. So try and see if you can take your focus actually to your right foot. So I want you to just really make that right foot really heavy. So really press the right side of the right foot into the mat, allowing the right knee to release. You may start to feel an opening in the right glute, right hip. Well done. So just bring that right knee back in to the midline, and then just bring your your left knee into the midline, and then your right knee up to meet. And then just circle one way and circle the other way. And then we'll do the other side. So just bring your left foot down, plant the foot on the mat, and let the leg just release out. So you're in your kind of one-legged butterfly. And then you're just going to draw this right leg in. Maybe lift your shoulders off the mat for a moment until you can grab your foot with your right hand, right thumb, and then swap it over. So left thumb comes in, right hand, and then using your right hand on your knee just to keep it in place. So again, take your attention to your left leg. Let the foot be heavy, let the knee be heavy. And you're just pressing into that point between the big toe and the next toe on your right foot. Don't forget to breathe. And also try and be mindful of what your shoulders are doing. So try not to hunch your shoulders up towards your ears. Draw them down. Release the left shoulder. I know you've got quite a lot going on here. Couple of more breaths. And then just bring your right foot back down. Lift your left leg using your hands. And then just bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug. And then taking your knees around in a circle one way. And back round in the other way. So from here we're going to come into a supine twist, but again it's with a little bit of a difference because we are going to be looking at the acupressure point kidney 1, and kidney 1 is like either side of the foot, so we want to be sort of grabbing either side, but I'll talk you through it. So you might want to just move your blocks out the way for a moment, but have them to your left side. So come back down onto your back, and then what you're going to do is you're just going to drop your knees over to the left. So if this is too much for you on this side, just push your knees away slightly. So you don't need them right up in line with your belly. Just push them away slightly. And if you want added comfort, just pop a block in between your thighs. So this is your first point. This is where you just need to be for a moment. I want you to always look up if you can. So we're not going to be turning the head either side. We're just going to be straight ahead. And then taking your arms out away from you in the T shape. That's too much for your right shoulder. Then just take them down on the angle. So just play around with the pose. I want you to feel a nice stretch in the back right side, because we're going to connect it with this hip area, but then we're going to connect it with the leg and the foot. So just take a couple of breaths, land on the mat, land in your posture, and just notice how it feels. And again, if you are experiencing period pain, start to let the belly just release. There's no need for any tension in the belly. Trying to bring energy and chi into the body to release that pain. So from here, what I want you to do is bring your right arm through, and then you're just going to start to bring that right leg, up towards your left hand. Grab your foot with your left hand. Right hand can stay on right knee. And all you're doing is just squeezing your foot. So squeezing each side with your hand. Maybe using the thumb to really press into the top of the foot. Your fingers presses into the sides. And I want you to take your attention back to the glute on the right side and your hip on your right side. So press your right foot into your left hand and your left hand into your right foot. So there's a bit of resistance going on. So you can start to feel a nice stretch in the right side of the body as you're pressing in. Breathing in and breathing out. Feels good. Maybe move. Maybe take some little circles. Now, can you feel it in your left hip as well? I can feel it in my left hip slightly. I'm just going to move that block out of the way. Maybe make those circles slightly bigger, if that feels good for you. Maybe move that left leg further away to give you more space in your right hip. Be moving that knee back and forward. And just experiment with the pose, experiment with the movement as you really squeeze that foot. Well done. So let's just come all the way back through to center, bringing those knees in for a little hug. And we'll do the other side. So again, you might want to just start right from the beginning. So moving our hips over to the right. Pop the block between the knees. And then just release the arms out. Oh, it's a bit of a creak going on there for me. Just starting to connect, starting to let go. Let the belly relax, knees relax. Try and see if you can let your left armpit relax. So your arm is heavy, shoulder is heavy. Can you take your focus to your left armpit? Just let it be really, really heavy. Don't forget to breathe. And now that we've got into our pose, let's have a look at our point, our acupressure point on this side. So bringing your left arm back in, just draw your knee up. And this time we're going to be using our right hand. So thumb over the top from the side, fingertips at the side. And just maybe moving that hip out, moving the leg out so the hip joint is nice and stretched. And then start to press with your thumb, press with your fingers. Feeling any niggles, anything that feels a little bit stuck. Releasing that stagnation, allowing the chi to start to release from your foot, through your ankle, up to your knee, into your groin. And as such, bringing all that lovely energy into your womb area. So one of the things that might help you here in this pose is to, if you're familiar with tree pose, so think about pressing the hand into the foot and the foot into the hand. And that will really turn on that left hip, will really start to ignite the energy in your leg. And then I want you to take your attention to your right hip and let it really flop into the earth beneath you. So you're not tensing in that right hip. You're not tensing anywhere. You're pressing, you're pushing, but you're releasing. We're getting right into that fascia tissue, into the body, into those hips. We store all of our attention in the hips. And then just start to maybe bring some movement now into the hip, moving it back and forward. Oh, that's a bit creaky for me. Maybe do some circles just from the knee joint. Oh, you've got your hand on your knee, protecting your knee. Maybe some ankle circles. Maybe moving that left leg away from you now. Moving it up and back. Well done. So come back into center. I have a dog between my legs. And then bring your knees into your chest. And then we'll come into a little bit of a heart flow acupressure point here. So for my friends who don't have access to a wall, you will need your brick. And you're just going to put that underneath your lower back. And then you are going to lift up with your legs. And then you're going to stay here. So get yourself comfortable. Take your arms away from you for now, whilst I explain to my other friends how we get up the wall, if you don't know already. So if you do know, get yourself in position, going legs up the wall. And if you don't know, I think my dogs are nice and comfortable there. Might want your little neck pillow. So bring your hip right next to the wall, and then as you start to bend back, you want to just bend back and then swing yourself around. So I'll just get myself a little bit further over here. So once you're in position, you don't actually need your hips right against the wall. Bum's quite a good idea. Get yourself positioned, get your little neck support, And then when everyone's set up, take those arms away from you. And then if you've got your legs against the wall, just let your ankles fall out. And maybe take a little micro bend in your knees just so they don't lock, because it could be a little bit painful. And then just do a few breaths here. Again, let's do that focus of what's connected to the ground. So back of your shins are connected to the wall. Some of your legs might be connected to the wall. Your back body, your spine, shoulders, elbows, wrists. And just take your attention to your fingers for a moment. And just let them relax out. Just let everything relax. Release. Allowing all that tension to release from the back of the spine. Making yourself really, really heavy. So from here we're going to just have a little look at the heart acupressure point. So bringing your hands back into your midline of your body, we're going to take right thumb onto our left wrist. So just where you would check for your pulse, and just start to do your little circles with your thumb. And maybe going round the wrist. So for me, it's more on the top. I can feel that pressure releasing. Let the shoulders hang, let the fingers drop. This is a really good pressure point to have access to if you are at work and you can't have access to to do yoga or meditation. You can just sit at your desk and do this. So moving around the wrist. And then we'll do the other side. Left thumb on right wrist. Just moving until you can find where you're going to get that release. So this is really good. Legs up the wall is really good for your parasympathetic nervous system. And if you are having a really bad, heavy period with a lot of pain, this is one of the best poses you can do. I know it might take a little bit of getting into it if you are in a bit of pain, but once you're into it, the release of everything, it's just so lovely. So well done. So just bring your palms down to your belly. Just let your hands rest on your belly for a couple of breaths. Let your belly rise and fall into your hands. Notice how you feel. Notice if you can feel any tingling sensation in any part of your body. Any comfort, any release from pain. And for my friends who are on their blocks, if you just slowly bend your knees, plant your feet, and remove your blocks slowly, and then let your hips come back down onto the mat really, really slowly. My friends, against the wall, bring your legs into the midline, drawing them in, and then just bring your knees in towards you as you fall over onto one side. And then if everyone can come back onto the mat, back into cross-legged position. Maybe sit on your block if you need it. And then once you've landed in your position, just take your palms facing up now. Give yourself a nice length in the spine, so drawing yourself up, shoulders down, back away from you. And then tilt that head, chin to chest, getting a nice length in the back of the neck. So let's just take a moment, close the eyes. I just want to invite you to visualize energy flowing freely from your body, soothing your body, balancing your body, restoring your body. So remember, this space is yours. This practice is yours. And when we're in pain, it's our body's way of telling us that we need to listen. So listen with intent. Listen with kindness. And honour your body and what it needs right now. Bring your palms to prayer. And we bow. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me on the mat. I hope this practice has found you some comfort from your pain. I'll see you next time.